Hi, friend. Today, let's talk a little bit about when spending money, what we call opportunity costs. So let's get right into it. All right, when we spend money, regardless of how much or how little, there is always an opportunity cost. And that's what we officially call it. But the opportunity is if you spend money on this thing or this experience or item, then you can't literally spend the same money on something else. I'll give you a couple of examples. One is like, I want to go on a vacation, so I want to spend money on a cruise or a safari or a plane ticket or some kind of an excursion. But if I do that and I put down the deposit or I put down whatever money it is over here, then I can't take that same money and invest it into my retirement account, or I can't buy clothes with it. Now I can do those things with other money, but I can't do it with the same money that I purchased that experience or item. Another thing is, okay, I want to go out to dinner. And let's say I want to go out to a nice dinner and I dropped $200 on that dinner and it was a great experience, but I can't take that same $200 and put it into my emergency fund, or I can't take that $200 and put it towards some other goal that I have, whether I'm saving for a car or I'm saving for a house or like whatever. You can't take the same money and give it to two different things. But this is why we actually can slice up like how we're going to save money, how we're going to make money, and all that. So let me walk you through just a few things to consider when you're talking about opportunity costs. So I do this exercise, and this makes it visual, which we'll talk about it in a second as well. But hold your hands out whenever you're going to make a decision, more than a certain amount. Hold your hands out and picture it. Picture what you're considering buying, spending money on in one hand, and then picture your goals in the other hand. Whatever goal that you have is number one priority on your list. Let's say it's paying off debt, or putting money into an emergency fund. If that's the case, I'm going to look at my hands. I'm holding them out. I'm going to look at my hands and say, okay, do I want to go out to dinner, spend 30, 40, 50, $60, whatever that's going to be? Or would I rather take that money and put it toward my emergency fund? Let's say I'm not happy with where my emergency fund is. Now, this could be a dichotomy because you want both, right? Just like me, I want both as well. What do we do? Do we go out to dinner or do we put money in our emergency fund? Right? This is what's going to happen. Sometimes you're going to say, yeah, it's totally worth it. I am okay. I'm going to delay that. And I'm going to go out to dinner because that's what I want. That's what I need, whatever. Right. And other times you're going to say, hold on a second. Now looking at this, now doing this exercise, I realize, oh my gosh, like that's ridiculous. I should not be spending $50 on eating out when I don't have an emergency fund or when I need to put that money toward debt, right? Sometimes you do one thing and sometimes you do other. Don't make a rule about this, right? If you make a rule, you're going to violate yourself. You're always going to be like, oh gosh, I have to do this thing. I have to do this thing. I have to do this thing. And all the smart financial people are telling me I got to pay off debt or I got to put money in emergency fund. I got to invest money. I got to save for my house. All those things. And yeah, those are all good and wise things to do. But sometimes you need to do something that's a little bit different that speaks more to your value system. And that's where we come to number two is other than that visual, right? That's the first thing you do is visualize. Do I want to do this or do I want to do this? It's always going to cost something. It's always going to be some kind of sacrifice. So the number two thing is you've got to connect it to your value system. And your value system is completely different than my value system, which is completely different than Mike's value system, which is completely different than your neighbors or your spouses or your friends. Don't do things that other people tell you to do based on their value system. Do things based on your value system. And I talk about this all the time. You've got to put your money where your values are. Sometimes that's going to look really silly to other people, and they're going to be like, what are you doing? I would never do anything like that. Well, that's not your value system. Like, basically leave me alone, right? Now, again, that could get you into trouble, right? If you're not wise about it. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to say, what is my values or what are my values? And are these choices pushing me toward my values and fulfilling my values? Or is it spending that's really not that important to me? We talk about this as well. I want you to put money toward your values, the things that are really important to you and that you really enjoy. And then in order to do that, you have to say no to other things. But actually, it's easy to say no over here if you know that you're putting your money toward the things that really matter. So spend money extravagantly on the things that really matter to you, but then you got to cut deeply on the things that don't matter to you. Once you have that awareness, once you have that perspective in there, it's actually pretty easy to spend money where your values are because it's actually what you want to do. But in order to have money to spend on your values, you have to be able to say no over here. You have to be self-aware of that, which is why we always go back to the beginning. What does your ideal life look like? What does your job look like? What do your clothes look like? Who are you hanging out with? What does your apartment or your house or your condo look like? What's inside of your house? Where are you going? What does your car look like? Right? All these details that point toward what your ideal life looks like. And then it's actually pretty easy to make some of these decisions rather than should I go on vacation or should I put money in my 401k? You know, I mean, the easy financial answer is like, oh, you always save, you always save, you always save for your retirement and all that stuff. But that's actually maybe not your value system right now. Or maybe you're doing perfectly fine in your retirement and all you need is that vacation because you haven't taken a vacation in years and years and years, right? You can't keep violating yourself saying, well, I'll take my vacation when I'm 65. I'll take my vacation when I'm 70. Well, if you're 45 years old, are you really going to wait 25 years to do that because all the financial experts are telling you to go and put money into your Roth IRA or your regular IRA? Again, I'm all for that stuff. I do that stuff. But are you just going to go down one step at a time for 30, 40, 50 years over here because you're supposed to, or you're actually going to put your money where your values are, right? So that's number two. Number three is we're going to practice the 24-hour rule, right? That's one of those things where you've heard about this. It's like you sleep on it. So that's one of those things. Okay, I want to go and buy this thing, and it could be a medium dollar amount thing, or it could be a large dollar amount thing. But have patience. Practice patience. That thing will be with you. And Mike talks about this all the time. He constantly says, "It's okay. It'll be there tomorrow. If it's not there tomorrow, it's okay. You probably didn't need it in the first place." So if you're going to go buy that item, have that experience, purchase that ticket, whatever it might be, there are times where you want to take advantage of discounts and coupons and specials and holiday sales and things like that. I get that, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about that thing that's like typically it would be an impulse spend, but you're gonna say time out. I'm gonna sleep on this. And if tomorrow I still want to do it, weighing out that opportunity cost here, opportunity cost there, okay, and then figure out, okay, well, I'm gonna sleep on it. And then the next day you're like, yeah, if I still want to do that thing and it makes sense then yeah, you can go ahead and do that, right? Does it still speak to your values? Or sometimes that's just the dopamine hit, right? We saw that ad, we saw that thing, it's sparkly and shiny in the store, and we just do it instead of, wait a second, do I really need that in my circumstance? Do I really need to purchase that right now? Maybe, but maybe not. You know how much money I've saved over the years by actually doing this 24 hours sleeping on it decision making process? I can't even tell you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. Like, you know what? Yeah, I decided not to do that because it's probably not best for me right now. Maybe in the future, but maybe not, right? Practice that patience, 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 and you'll make different decisions. All right. Number four is make it visual. Like just like that exercise I pointed out in the beginning of this video, you got to visualize these things. It makes it more real for our psyches. So if you need to put some kind of thermometer chart or some kind of graphic, you can use a computer and an easy graphic system to create some kind of gamification for the spending process, especially if this is a high ticket item. If it's a vacation, if it's a car, if it's a house, if it's some kind of big item, expensive item, you want to have some kind of visual for it. So keep a running list and and actually juxtapose it to itself. I want to buy this item and it's $3,000. Well, then you also have to have your list, right? The goals, the self-awareness that we talked about earlier. Have your goals sitting here and say, all right, if I want to go on my vacation here and I want to buy a car here and I want to have clothing here and I want my to pay off my debts here and right, what is that priority list? And then when you have a decision that comes of like, well, this thing or experience is going to cost me $1,000. Where on that priority list would that fit? Right? Visualize that and say, okay, here's the item. Ooh, here's my five or six goals. Where would I put this on the list? If it's the top, Boom, easy decision for me. If this thing is more important than my list that I already have predetermined, I do it. If it goes somewhere in the two, three, four, five, I'm considering it. Maybe I need to shift some priorities. Maybe it makes more sense to do this. Life changes. Or if it's way down the list, by all means, don't do it. Don't do it because you have other things that you want to put your money toward. Do that stuff, right? Because that's your ideal life. That is your a priority list. Those are your goals. Do those things. And then you're saying, if I have money left over, then I'm going to do this other thing. I mean, you will be able to get through that list really, really quickly if you are focused and intentional about your spending. Remember, well, let's just go to number five. There's no right or wrong answer. And the reason for that is because this is your life, not my life, right? The decisions that you make are completely different than the decisions that I'm going to make. And again, sometimes there will be a right answer about like, well, should I go and blow $100 on this lottery ticket, or should I put food on the table? Right? Those are the kinds of things. It's like, yeah, there's a right or wrong answer there. Don't put your money on a lottery ticket. Put food on the table, right? Make sure you take care of your family. But for the most part, in our sustainable life here, most of these things are not a right or a wrong. And then the last thing is have bunches of grace for yourself. It might work out and it might not, and that's okay. It's okay. You don't have to do this and be like, well, it didn't work out, so I'm never going to do that again, right? This is a fluid thing. Finances are very fluid. So take those things into consideration, make it visual, do the 24-hour rule, right? Do the exercises, all the things. There's not a right or wrong answer. And when it comes to this opportunity cost, just remember that there is a sacrifice. There's always something that you're going to have to give up, and that's okay. But if you live into your value system and you do the things that you really want to do that speak your values and are pointing towards your ideal life, you will actually be happy, even if it doesn't work out. And that's okay, right? Live your values, live your ideal life. All right. So those are just a few pointers, something to consider when you're talking about opportunity costs. All right, friend. Thanks. If you want to know more, if you want to learn more about spending, about saving, about investing, about all these things finance, go to sentinelcoaching.com and you can check out all the stuff that we've got there. You can go to sentinelcoaching.com/ILMA to learn more about the Ideal Life and Money Academy. Thanks. Talk to you in another video.